What's up, you guys? So today I wanted to make a little video for y'all and talk about my thoughts and my journey and experience so far with intuitive eating. So if you have been following the channel for a while, you know that I am a bodybuilder and I competed back in the fall, so I have been tracking my macros consistently for about 3 years now. When I say it's about 3 years. And since getting into bodybuilding, the actual sport of bodybuilding and the act of prepping, you do have to be very consistent when it comes to your intake. So I was tracking macros obsessively, consistently, I guess is a better way to put it, but there were some days where I would get obsessive about it. And just being on point with my macros all the time for prep. And then even after this last show, my reverse diet, I was very consistent with my macros for probably a good 3 to 4 months. I did stay very lean post-show for that 3 to 4 months while I was tracking consistently, but I got pretty quickly burnt out, and this is because I was tracking almost every single day for a good 3 years, like I said. And so I reached a point, and intuitive eating is something that I have been researching and looking into probably for about a year or so, and it's something that I've had in the back of my mind wanting to work towards long term. With a lot of my online clients, we do slowly switch from tracking macros to intuitive eating because I want it to be more of a lifestyle, and I don't expect my clients to track their macros every single day for the rest of their life, and I don't want them to feel like they need to in order to be healthy and have a good relationship with food. So I made the decision a few weeks ago to start intuitive eating. I did it for a few days, I felt awesome, and then I doubted myself. So I went back to tracking, and I was trying to hold on to an image of, I could say, perfection in my physique that is just not realistic for me at this time. Now, whether I can maintain that level of leanness for a prolonged period of time, I don't know. We'll only find out with time. But so I went back to tracking, and then immediately I knew that that was a mistake because I was at a point, and I am at a point, where I want to let go of tracking and being on my fitness pal and weighing and measuring my food. And I'm not competing again, that I can tell. You know, I've made the decision to not compete, so at this point, you know, tracking my macros is not a necessary thing. I have a good relationship with food, and you know, I can sit down and eat a couple Oreos and not feel like I need to eat the entire container like I used to. So let go of that, and one day I just up and decided I'm going to intuitive eat, and I have not looked back since. And I can tell you guys, it's been so awesome. It has been so awesome and so freeing to know, one, that I don't have to weigh or measure my food. I don't have to pre-plan my food. I don't have numbers that I have to hit every single day. And it's also been nice to see that flexible dieting did change my life and my view of food. So, you know, whereas before I started tracking my macros and before I started practicing flexible dieting, you know, if I would have said, I'm not going to worry about my diet, I'm not going to worry about food, I'm going to eat what I want, eat when I'm hungry, stop when I'm satisfied, I would have binged. I would have binged probably every single night, until I forced myself to get back on whatever diet I was doing at the time. But by tracking and practicing this flexible dieting mentality, I mean, I've been able to wake up, and when I'm hungry, I eat what I want. So some days it's a huge bowl of oatmeal. Some days I don't eat breakfast because I'm not particularly hungry, so I eat around 11 or 12. Some days I make scrambled tofu. Some days I do like a Lenny and Larry's cookie. Some days I'll do like breakfast tacos. So it's just whatever I'm feeling. and I don't weigh anything, I don't measure anything, I don't track anything in my phone. And then, you know, I go about my day, and these last few days have been super, super busy. And so I don't eat for a good amount of time, and then I come home and I'm hungry, and it's like 3 or 4, so not necessarily a normal meal time. But I feel like making a big salad bowl, and then I feel like having some protein sludge with a ton of fruit. And I have it, and I eat it, and I'm happy, and I move on with life. So being able to do that is so amazing to me. And it's something that I never thought that I would ever been able to do. And by tracking my macros and flexible dieting for these last few years, I've been able to transition into intuitive eating, and at this point I don't see a need to do anything else. And what's crazy to me is that I have put on probably a good 15 pounds since my show. Yeah, I think since about show day. I'm about 15 pounds heavier. And a few years ago, the previous me would have flipped out. I would have gone into a downward depressed spiral. I would be punishing myself with cardio, restricting my calories left and right, and I would just be miserable. I would be absolutely miserable. And I do have days when I look and, you know, I see some fat on my body that wasn't there several months ago, and I start to think that I'm less worthy of a person because of it, and then I quickly snap out of it because I realize how free I've been feeling and how happy, and the fact that Matt and I can go rock climbing, and then afterwards we decide to go out to eat, or we order some pizza together and I can enjoy it with him, but I don't feel inclined to eat everything. And, you know, I don't feel like I'm a terrible person if I do eat a little too much, or if I don't eat quite enough. And it's been such a neat experience for me, and I really, if any of you are looking into intuitive eating, keep looking, keep doing your research, and keep aiming to make your relationship with food normal again. The best thing that I have done in this journey has been to let go of the crazy holds that food can have on me. And, you know, whether that's thinking that cereal is a bad food, and if I eat this greasy meal that I'm gonna be a bad person, and it's gonna make me unhealthy, and I'm gonna be unfit and unclean and, you know, just completely terrible. And being able to work through that and realize that food is food, you know, whether that food is covered in grease, or whether that food is you know, as clean or, you know, wholesome and nutrient dense as possible, it shouldn't determine whether I'm a good or bad person. And, you know, I believe a lot that, you know, actions speak louder than words, and showing people that you can make a positive impact with something as simple as your food choices is an amazing thing. And, you know, I really, really hope that you guys can look into this if it's something that you want to work towards. And, you know, I know a lot of you guys might be bodybuilders, you might have some physique goals in mind, but always keep in mind the long term, and think if this is something that you're doing right now, think if it's something that you can keep up for the next 12, 16, 24 plus months. And if it's something that's driving you crazy, if you're miserable, if you're constantly thinking about food, I highly encourage you to look into something that is healthier and more sustainable and more long-term. And it's not going to be something that's going to get you results overnight. I can't even guarantee that intuitive eating is going to change your physique, because you're going to be listening to your body. You're going to be feeding it as it is hungry, and, you know, focusing always on lots of vitamins and lots of nutrients with your food, but just fueling your body as best as you can, and not eating because you think that food has a power over you, and not eating out of habit, just eating because food is good and we're supposed to enjoy food. And so look into what's going to work long term for you and work best and make you feel the best long term and enjoy your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up. If you have any questions regarding my experiences with intuitive eating so far, please leave them below. I would love to do a Q&A about intuitive eating. I'm not an expert on it by any means, but of course, always speaking from your own experience is a good way to help others learn for themselves as well. So hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see y'all in the next video.